Hey everybody, it's Jeremy. Welcome back to EA Tetragrammaton, where we are playing This is turn 63. Let's jump into things. Alright, what do we have going on this turn? We have completed Enchantment 8. Woo! Alright, two hugely important things there. One, mass regeneration. We are a big, beefy, giantish nation, right? With Gift of Health up. Mass regeneration is going to be phenomenal for us, especially if we are fighting in our dominion or just out of our, like, launching attacks out of our dominion. Mass regeneration, big deal. Very, very big deal. Very excited about it. Very happy. Okay. The second thing is Frostfend. Frostfend is going to allow us to utilize Yetis with impunity, right? Which is going to be very, very good. Yetis are very beefy, gonna take great benefit from something like mass regeneration, or later on, something like Army of Lead or Army of Gold. Very, very strong. They hit very, very hard, right? They are low attack density, and that is a little bit of a problem. They also have a chill aura, right? If the enemy is not running something like Frostfend, then they suddenly become very, very dangerous because they will fatigue out. Cool. So very excited about both of those things. We also complete, just a quick pickup, Thaumaturgy 5. This gets us a few minor things. The obvious singular one is Soul Slay. Rather than Paralyze, it allows us Soul Slay if we need to utilize that in our communions or specific scenarios, right? If we need to start maybe forging some penetration gear or something like that, we can. Okay. What else do we have going on? Apindra the Raksharaja. Ugh. I like soft, like tongued that name the first time around. Raksharaja, like oof, enunciation, man. Has claimed the Crystal Throne in the name of Devil in the Detail. Okay, so Lanka has grabbed a second throne. Cool. Ishib 27 casts Voice Vapsu with nothing. Auspex gets nothing. Voice Vapsu gets nothing. Gnome Lord gets nothing. Arcane Probing gets nothing. And we summoned some Yetis. Okay, so nothing with our remote side searches there. But also nobody died. Nobody got Astral Corruption fucked. So that's good. Our Blood Hunters did not capture any slaves in Bell, and it's now becoming very difficult to blood hunt there. We're probably going to move out of the province and let it set. We would, like, normally, under normal circumstances, I would have someone there patrolling that province to keep that shit down. But that's right next to a massive Pan army, so we're not doing that. Now we got a couple of battles. Let's watch some of these battles. Got a battle in Yomi between Yomi and Lanka. And this is just kind of a nothing, right? This guy comes out with a whole bunch of gems. And he mistforms up. And he skeletal bodies. And he gets air elemented while he air elements. And now he's just getting tossed around, and now he's getting deaded. So, unfortunate. I don't know if Yomi was trying to, like, maybe do I don't know, gem bait or something like that. I don't think so. But unfortunate. We have a battle against us and Pan in Scraw Point. We attacked into Scraw Point with our Ishib, little Ishib Raider over here with our Flesh Eater. Goes fine. Although I do want to note this, because this seems weird to me, right? So the way Moss Body works is You have a 75% chance of reducing incoming damage by 10 to 20 points, and the moss will disappear in a cloud of poison if the unit is wounded. Keep that in mind. Right? He goes right past that front line, and he's like, hello, back line. Actually, he's like, specifically, hello, Minotaur. Okay, so he walks in, smacks the Minotaur, hits him for 15. The Minotaur or someone hits him back, and he takes 1 point of damage. And I was like, oh, shouldn't Moss Body proc? And maybe I looked at it and I was like, well, display an account if the unit is wounded. Maybe that means like an actual wound. But in actuality, he also lost an eye. So he's moss-bodied. He's liquid-bodied. The liquid body, unfortunately, did not prevent him from getting a wounded eye or losing an eye. But neither the loss of an eye nor the hit that he took actually procced the moss body. So I don't know what happened there. I don't know. Regardless, though, I assassinated their leadership cow, and yeah, done and done. I took another like 5 damage hit on that too. Like oof. 29 protection, reducing 5 damage hits. Fucking exploding dice, man. Regardless, though, we win in Scraw Point. Very cool. We have taken control of White Peaks. It's our Yeti just cannot catch a break and cannot find a fight. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, but he cannot find a fight. So, and then Pan is attacking us in Simri. So, ooh, goodness gracious. So let's take a look at this. Obviously, we have 1 PD here. This is obviously going to run over it. But what is this? This is a bunch of white centaurs with a little kind of like rear guard of centaur warriors. We've got a couple of Hierophantides here. No gear, no gems, nothing like that. So it is my assumption that this is purely intended as a counter raiding force, right? To the point of fact that I don't think that this force will go into my territory because it doesn't have any real support. And I don't think Pan is going to risk losing 28 white centaurs on nothing, right? On the back of just nothing. So, but we'll see, right? Battle in Simri, battle in Raphabolia. This is an interesting battle against Hinam and Pan, or for Hinam and Pan. So this is Hinam taking throne away from Pan, or trying to anyways. Pan's got a big army of Maenads here. A Boulder Spine the Earth Reader, which is cool. Got a Yogi over here. And really what Hinam has is a bunch of undead. Long dead Rephites, right, which are cool. He's got a pretty large clump of Clockwork Horrors, and these things can be very dangerous. They have decently high protection, they have multiple attacks, and they're tiny, so the attack density on these things is stupidly scary. Like 12 attacks is that's insane attack density. But they're very low health. And they have exhaustion, natural exhaustion. They gain fatigue every single turn. So they're only good in a fight for so long before they basically like run out of power or run out of, wind up, clockwork winds. And then he has this like weird super combatant thug posse with some Melkarts kitted out in various gear. He's got a Crown of Titans over here. He's got a Son of Arakiel over here kitted out. He's got a Baal kitted out over here with a bunch of Earth Gems. We've got another Baal kitted out over here. He's got this guy, a Son of Semyaza, who's got a bunch of Nature Gems and a little kit. And then he's got the Padosian over. So, let's see what he does. And we're going to focus on the little goon squad because there's really nothing else here. So, little goon squad does Iron Skin, Astral Shield, Marble Warriors, We get some blessings. We get a mass regeneration there. Okay, so mass regeneration, which is kind of useless on his army, but it's going to hit all of his thugs with regeneration, and that's going to make them, with a combination of Marble Warriors and all the other buffs that they're throwing up, Temper Flesh, Body Ethereal, Phoenix Pyre. These guys are tank. Podosian's over here with 35 protection. Holy poop nuggets. Yeah, so these guys are dangerous. We're getting fire shields, we're getting earth powers, we're getting iron skins. Alright, cray. That's pretty much all they're gonna do, though. They've got no, like, big battlefield magic other than, like, mass regeneration. And now the long dead Rephites are just in here whacking away at Maenads. And actually, the majority of the work, the workhorses in this, are the Clockwork Horrors, because they get in here in these Maenads and they just like, there's so many attacks coming out of each square of them. It's kind of cray. So does not take long. I don't know that any of the thugs actually, or super combatants actually, get into battle. So that is going to be it. Sweet. And all the Clockwork Horrors, like, fatigued out in the entrance, like, right here. So they did just enough at the beginning of that fight to kind of, like, roll over. They did 81 kills. 25 of them. 81 kills. Very, very good. Very good. Alright, sweet. So that's good news, because that means that is yet another throne that Pan does not have access to currently. We also have a battle in Yomi as Lanka attacks Yomi. The final battle. What does Yomi have left? He has a very small amount of Ao Oni and Ko Oni, and he's got Usanari the Oni Shugo. Gonna skeletal body. And that's it, maybe? Phoenix power. Alright. Oh, he's throwing fireflies. Oh, man. So, remember like 30 turns ago when we started this war with Yomi, and we were like, okay, so this is only going to take a little while, and then we'll turn and, like, actually deal with Pan and maybe something else, right? Oh, remember when Yomi had a different player? Well done to the Agartha player who took over for Yomi. Well done dragging that out and dragging, at least, I don't know about Lanka, but dragging my ass through the mud. Defeating multiple armies of mine. Let's rephrase that. Fixing my upkeep issues. Oh, goodness. But that was fun. Congratulations. That is the end of Bane, the god of Yomi. Okay, what else do we have? We have foreseen a great disaster and taken measures to prevent it. Very nice. Got an unexpected event in the Gladewood where we have an earthquake has struck. We lost a bunch of population. That's unfortunate. Worldwide event for Luck 1 and Growth 3. Very actually happy for the Luck 1 event. That's very nice. And then, so, like, the earthquake is the it's the Trog event. So Trogs come up in Gladewood. What happens? That's a bunch of Trogs, and they are up against it's 20 PD, but it's just Wolf Tribe. Trogs are going to be nasty. So Trogs are very squishy, but they hit like I say very squishy. They have lots of health, but they have very low defense, very low protection. So they get chopped. And as you can see, they just get hacked to bits by the Wolf Tribe, but they're also just scattering the Wolf Tribe, punching the daylights out of them. So we did kill about a third of them right there, I think, but don't know that that's going to be enough. Now, fortunately, this guy is kind of holding his own. His current maximum hit points are 44. right? So he's not getting just immediately slaughtered, but he is gonna die. Oh goodness! Oh god! Oh, they ran. And that is the problem with troglodytes. Their strength is also their weakness, right? They have very high hit points, but that means every trog that dies is a huge chunk of HP lost to the overall battle, right? So you eventually HP route trogs just because they have so much HP. Like every single one that dies is a big HP hit. Now, granted, I think the way that HP routes work is it's based off of a percentage of the total HP. So, you know, we got lucky. That was, but again, this is a great example. I love this as an example of one of the things that I like about I like this province defense mechanic. I think it's fun because it saves you from things like this. Sometimes it'll barely save you, but it can save you from things like this. So, very cool. All right, patrolling troops have killed brigands in Titan's Breath. All right, what do we got going on? All right, this is another kind of interim turn. We are still in this situation with Pan, trying to kind of figure out what the next scenario is. But I think, honestly, it basically just means that we're at war with Pan, right? Because unless Pan reaches out to me and is like, okay, you got me. You kept me from getting that throne. What do you want for peace? Then I'm probably just stuck in this war with Pan now, and we've been talking about this for a long time, so it kind of just is what it is, right? Ah, goodness gracious. So what do we have going on? We're continuing what we have been in Titan's Breath. 3 more turns until we have a fort here. We're gonna keep researching. This is a concern, right? The group of white centaurs in Simri is a concern. He could start trying to raid me. I don't think that that's going to happen. I think he's just going to counter raid and kind of like hold his own border, because I think he might change his mind, but I don't think he's gonna send this many white centaurs out without some sort of reinforcing. He's seen my armies. He's seen like what I have is like an army. I don't think he's gonna like try to fight that without magic, right? So we'll see how it goes. Maybe he'll break this up. Maybe he'll pull this into smaller portions with those 3 Hierophantides and like start raiding me. And if he does, which would probably be a very good idea, we're probably in a little bit of a rough spot. I don't have as many counter raiders prepared as I would like to, and the combination of Arcane Nexus, Astral Corruption is a problem for trying to make those counter raiders. So kind of in an annoying situation there. It's not nice. You might also notice that Eyes of God seems to have dropped. I don't know if I don't know if this happened last turn or if it's just this turn. I'm not sure, but the Eyes of God has gone away. No one blinded them, so my assumption is that the holder just died, I guess. I don't know. We are continuing to raid into Yellow Caves. We are pulling Ishib 16. Since he lost an eye, we're pulling Ishib 16 back to Kohnberg, and we're going to try to use Gift of Health to heal that wound. Very importantly, we are bringing NC4 with his 132 units. We are bringing him into Kohnberg. Why? Because moving a lot of our units from Titan's Breath to something like Kunaral or elsewhere, right, is possible, right? Most of our units are map move 18. And even map move 16 can make it to Kun Aral from Titan's Breath Peaks. However, map move 14 cannot. So having the bulk of our forces all the way out here when the largest scary army is up here in Hall's Wood is probably not the best idea. So we're going to set this force in Kohnberg to be able to respond appropriately, right? They can always pop back to Titan's Breath if need be. They can head into Kun Aral if need be, you know. So this is just going to be a better staging ground for us as far as that goes. And then we can move around, like we have forces in Perenna, right, to try to utilize. We're getting more forces in to try to utilize, etc. So let's talk about recruitment. We are doing very little recruitment this turn because most of our money has gone to other things. We're just getting Mushushu and some basic Inky's Chosen. And we are getting another Crystal Sorceress because we're putting down a temple in Kun Aral and we're putting down a temple in Trackless Wastes. Again, Gift of Health is exceptionally strong. We've been talking about making sure our infrastructure is able to handle it. As we saw last turn, right, we didn't have Dominion in Titan's Breath with a combination of temples and just claiming the throne itself. We now have Dominion in Titan's Breath. That is going to make Titan's Breath much easier for us to defend. We want to continue to push that Dominion. We want to push our Dominion. We want to push our Dominion into our Yomi lands. We want to have good infrastructure, and we want to have defensible locations that we can make use of this very powerful global with. Okay? So, fingers crossed on that. What else are we doing? We are having to be very careful. Again, we're not using most of our Dwarven Hammers because of the combination of Arcane Nexus and Astral Corruption. Mostly Corruption. Arcane Nexus is one of those kind of like hidden scenarios. Like, Arcane Nexus is probably stronger than Astral Corruption. The only issue with our Arcane Nexus's strength is that you don't see it, right? You don't see, unless you're sitting there mathing out, oh, okay, I'm doing, I'm going to forge this, I'm going to cast this, I'm going to forge this, and then I'm going to cast these three things. And each of those costs this much. And so what I'm actually doing is I'm giving this singular opponent, I'm giving them this much in magic gems to do what I am wanting to do, right? So that's incredibly powerful. But it's kind of a behind-the-scenes mechanic, right? You don't just get a checklist that's given to you. You have to do that work, right? You have to actually like math that all out, think about it, etc. Whereas Astral Corruption is a very in-your-face mechanic, and it's basically like to do the thing that you want to do. Same thing with Arcane Nexus. To do the thing that you want to do, you have to risk losing things, right? And losing things affects your ability to compete with everyone, whereas just giving one person more gems is just giving one person more gems, right? Like, so Arcane Nexus is very good at making the one individual stronger, much, much stronger, right? Whereas Astral Corruption kind of like makes everyone weaker by slowly but surely killing their shit off. We can't do anything about it right now, so what we are doing, and this is just going to be a combination, partially why I'm getting more Inky's Chosen, we are going to have to start being judicious and planning our stuff. So you might notice we are still continuing to forge Lightless Lanterns. We are still continuing to we're going to actually forge some Boots of the Messenger this turn, and we are doing that with bodyguards, we're doing that with gems, to try to enhance our chances of surviving. Should we get picked up, we're trying to not die. And that's probably not going to happen, right? We're probably still going to die. But we're trying to mitigate as many of those as we can. We're also continuing to summon Yetis over here, and we're going to use some of those Yetis as bodyguards, right? We've got Yeti bodyguards, we've got a bunch of gems, so maybe we'll make water elementals or something like that in response. And hopefully that does something. Look at the Yetis. They're so fat. 78 hit points on a regular unit. There's not a regular unit. That is crazy. That is crazy. Granted, Perenna has a lot of candles here. We have 7 Dominion strength here. I think that is the highest out of anything. Yeah, I think the highest we can get right now is 7. So that's pretty intense. So we're continuing to do some things like Gnome Lore and Voice of Apsu. I haven't given bodyguards to everyone. We probably will go through and add some bodyguards to different people. Don't know that a whole lot else is going on, truth be told. We're moving people around. Lanka ended up jumping into Wick. I've discussed that with them. They're like, oh yeah, sorry, I forgot it was yours. And I'm stepping back into it. That means Ishib 11 is not going to be needed over here, so he's going to come back over to Perenna and hopefully be able to counter raid should Pan come at me. We are moving our Blood Hunting Corps over towards Neotha with the plan of hopefully hitting 50 Blood Slaves. We are pretty close to being able to deploy these Flagellants as patrollers. In fact, we're actually bringing Elder 12 because we're not going to start a set of infrastructure here in Bell. That's not going to happen, not with this army right there. So we are moving over to Perenna this turn, and next turn we will pick up some of these Flagellants and take them to Ial and start patrolling there. Elder 14 we're bringing back. Hopefully that we can save. He is crippled. He might die in the march, but hopefully we're bringing him back to Perenna to get healed, etc., etc. And I think that's mostly it. We have 182 death gems. I think we are on track to hit our goal there. The goal being once we hit Conjuration 7, right, we are going to summon a Mound Fiend, turn around, empower that Mound Fiend, have that Mound Fiend make a skull cap using a skull staff. He's going to make a skull cap. He'll be... he will be Death 6 at that point. And then he's going to turn around and cast Well of Misery. And so our aim there is to be able to put close to 150 additional gems into Well of Misery. Right? I don't know if we'll be able to do that, but I think we're going to be able to get close. Because summon a Mound Fiend is 28. Empowering that Mound Fiend is probably going to be about 45 or so. And then a Skull Cap, I think, is 40 or 45. So we're gonna need about 100 for just getting the Mound Fiend up to Well of Misery. And then we need another 80 just for base Well of Misery. And that's where we're at now, right? Is 180. So being able to get another 150 in that, probably not in that time frame, right? Because we need, well, maybe. Because if you think about it, it's probably not going to be 150. We'll see. We're going to try to get close. Because it's going to be... next turn, we'll have Conjuration 6. The turn after that, we should have Conjuration 7. And we can begin this. So that's another, that's another close to 40 gems. And then it's probably going to take 3 or 4 turns before we get to Conjuration 8. So that would be another 60-ish gems. So not quite. Well, that's looking at closer to 100 than 150. But we'll see. We'll see. We might not even be able to make it that far. So who knows? Alright, I think that is going to be it for the turn. Here's the other thing, though. It would be great, it would be super great to be able to get to that point before another global enchantment goes. So that's only 5 turns, right? Being able to get to the point to where we don't have to try to compete with a global would be really nice, because if we're competing with a global, then we have the chance of going up against our own global, which we don't want to do. Oh, that's the other thing that's missing. What happened to it? Oh, did he get rid of his own? I think, didn't Mictlan have Eternal Pyre? Did he get rid of his own Eternal Pyre to put up Astral Corruption? If so, that's pretty funny. If so, yeah, go fuck yourself. You deserve it, bitch. I'm very unhappy with Astral Corruption. Like, Arcane Nexus is, and I understand this, Arcane Nexus is a stronger spell. It will turn, if we do not do something about it, Relay is going to end up being a powerhouse because they're going to have so many gems, right? However, Astral Corruption pisses me off more because it's in my face and it's killing my shit, you know? Like, I don't know. It's, I don't like it. All right, that's going to be it for the turn. Thanks for watching, everyone. I will see you. Bye, everybody.